Jr. will go against Mark Williams. As always on NBC Sports, uninterrupted coverage of the championship match. This final event on the PBA Fall Tour, final event of 1986. And Young starts off in fine fashion. This event does end the PBA Tour, but the Fairlanes National Resident Pro Championship is set for December 12th through the 14th out in Phoenix. That ends the entire season. It is for the resident professionals only.
Now here's a contrast in styles, Jay. Watch this young man hook the ball.
Mark Williams, 6'1", 175 pounds, 28 years of age, from Beaumont, Texas, his 6th year on tour.
Now watch Mark Williams go to the foul line. You can see the concentration. He tucks the ball behind his hip, lays it down the center of the lane, and sends it clear out near the channel. Look at the rotation on that ball. It looks like it's got a motor on it.
His high game, 289 this week. He averaged 226.5 on the TV pair. Williams opens with a double. Earl is an advantage for him. Of course, he's had a chance to bowl a little bit on the TV pair along the way here today, but also he's had a chance to watch this entire activity up to now.
It's an advantage for the leader in one aspect, Jay, that he gets to sit out and only has to bowl one match on the television pair. The disadvantage is the lanes do change as the players are bowling, and he has to come over and find them, while the player that won the match before already knows what the changes are.
Billy Young trying to come from the number 3 spot. He opens with 2. Young with scores of 222 and 200, averaging 211 here this afternoon. True Value Hardware Stores. The great folks be happy to pay out $100,000 for a perfect game here this afternoon. 1974, as we showed you earlier in the telecast, Jim Stefanich, the last man to have a perfect game on TV. Young, a little bit high, and he left the 3-pin. The Pro-Am held earlier this week. As we look again at Young, was sponsored, Earl, by the Detroit News, who have just done a splendid job here. They had over 1,500 entries. And
that's a lot of people, Jay. And not only that, but bowling in Detroit, St. Louis, Chicago, New York City, cities like that, it's just a major sport. And they really support the tournaments well.
Spare in the 3rd. And the average leaders, Gant, who's been hot this fall, and young Amleto Monticelli from down in Venezuela with a 212.8. Mark Williams going for 3 in a row. And it's high, and he left the 6-pin.
Again, the contrasting styles between these two players. Mark Williams playing the center lane and sending it out near the channel. Billy Young going straight down the edge of the channel, out by the 5 board. Both players trying to get the ball to the same break point on the lane, but they're getting there in completely different manners. Mark Williams
very much under control, isn't he?
Oh, yeah, he's a very cool, calm player, and I don't think there's a player on the tour that has more confidence in his own ability, Jay. He's always confident, and he loves to bowl on television. He feels he's a winner on television.
Young needs a win today to requalify for the Firestone Tournament of Champions. Gotta hurry. Gets there. NBC Sports exclusive, the uninterrupted coverage of this championship match.
And it looks like it's going to be a good one, Jay. It's dead even at this point.
Billy, as we mentioned earlier, won his only tournament across the river, Windsor, Ontario. he can win here today, it will mean so much to him. That was looking good. Even Steven here in the early going between Billy Young and Mark Williams.
As so often happens in the championship match, it tends to come down to the last 2 frames, and whoever can perform under the pressure in the 9th and 10th usually is the winner. And this is the way it looks like it's going right now, Jay.
Came up a little short. Well, we visited with Bud Fisher earlier in this telecast, a man who's meant so much to the PBA, and I want to say thanks too to John Campos and Jim Collins, who do such a splendid job in providing us with the statistics. They do a splendid job handling the media operations. Of course, to tournament director Harry Golden. The Goose will be heading for Las Vegas a day or two.
Most of the problems the players have had throughout the telecast have been on the left-hand lane, lane 39 here at Taylor Lanes. 39 seems to have broken down more. In other words, the oil has moved around more drastically than on lane 40. So the players are trying to play a little deeper, more toward the middle of the lane. They seem to be able to hit the pocket on 40, but they're struggling on 39. Mark Williams on lane 40.
Williams, who opened with 2 and had a spare in the 3rd, comes back with 2 more strikes in the 4th and 5th for a 10-pin lead. Figure skating, a beautiful sport that is. You'll see Dorothy Hamill and Scott Hamilton and others coming up on Sports World. Tomorrow, of course, it's a doubleheader on NBC, football action. Week 14 of the NFL.
Big break for Mark Williams. Tripped the 4-7 out. The ball was a little high in the head pin, but that ball almost stopped. Almost a rollout shot. The ball came into the pocket, and by rollout, I mean it lost its hooking action. Watch the ball kind of set up on the head pin. Doesn't cut through. Trips the 4-7. Big break for Mark at this point.